As Epic Universe drops pricing that makes everybody go, what? It's that cheap? Disney World has now come out and said that their new passes will be increasing by sometimes up to $100 more per year. Let's talk about the vacation inflation going on over there at Walt Disney World here on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is my Wookiee co-pilot, Mr. VashSky. Vash, are you ready to punch it?
I am ready to punch it to Florida, to Walt Disney World. We're going to get some cheap discounted tickets there, Jonas. We're going to get some cheap passes. It's going to be just fine. Oh, wait. Maybe they're not so cheap anymore.
You know, it occurs to me, why didn't they call Lightning Lane something else inside of Batuu over there at Galaxy's Edge? It's so strange. Walt Disney World annual passes increase in price up to $100. This one out of WDWNT and by Shannon Ace. Look at that right there. It's the pass holder line. Here are the details and new prices for each pass tier effective October 23rd, 2024. Actually, Vash, I'm going to pass this to you because I think you have got more striking visuals for us.
Perhaps, maybe so. Scott Gooston here with the whole breakdown of the increases for Walt Disney World annual passes. They've increased anywhere between 37%, $30 to $100, depending on pass type. A breakdown all the prices plus tax. So we have the Incredipass going from $14.49 to $15.49, Sorcerer $9.99 going to $1,079, Pirate $7.99, $8.29, and Pixie Dust the $4.39 to $4.69. So they increased them. I'll say that, but not as aggressively. I would say that they didn't, like Disneyland, for example. I suppose that just comes down to the guest mix that's different between the West and East Coasts.
Yeah, this is fascinating to me as well. I find the naming system to be a little bit, I suppose you could guess here at which one is which. Pixie, Pirate, Sorcerer, and Incredipass. Other than the Incredipass, which already sounds like the top level right there, obviously branded towards the Incredibles. The rest of them just generically Disney, and I guess the Pixie Dust Pass is the light sprinkling there. I don't know. I prefer like a bronze, silver, gold, platinum, something like that myself. But to each their own. The Pixie Dust Pass also at $469 a year. That's not bad as long as you don't have kids in school or anything like that. It was better at $439 though.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I remember when these passes were a fraction of what's listed here on the screen, and with better naming conventions, I will say, Jonas. Why isn't everything just A to E ticket? I mean, that was like the best branding that you could possibly have, and it's Disney's own. I never make sense of that, but the price of a Walt Disney World vacation is getting far more expensive. Also, too, the Premier Pass for Lightning Lane is also coming online, at least on Disneyland Resort. I believe it happens sometime later in Walt Disney World if it hasn't happened already. So, in order to take advantage of the opportunities that you were afforded before, you're going to be having to pay far more, not just the price of entry, but also to the things along the way. And that leads us to kind of a range of increases that are happening resort-wide. This is by Walt Disney World News Today, Shannon Ace as well. Walt Disney World snacks, buffets, character dining, and more increase in price. It says right here, individually priced menu items at restaurants throughout Walt Disney World increased in price between approximately 20 cents, not bad, to $5. Ooh, that's quite a bit right there. So even if you pay the enhanced fees associated with entry, we just heard recently that they just recently increase ticket prices as well for Walt Disney World, like the first time since 2022.
Yeah. Yes, they have. And I get it. Inflation has happened. I don't think that the pay of rest of the workers at Disney has increased commensurately with how much they've increased prices within the parks.
Very true.
Obviously, they're also pointing towards they would rather get the high end guests than the average guests, and this is a business strategy on their part. They want people who have a lot of money more than they want a lot of people who don't have a lot of money coming into their parks. I see the business reasons for this, but they're turning themselves into a premium product, and a premium product that I'm not sure if they're pricing themselves appropriately for that. It's once you start getting into that higher end, you start dealing with people who know what their options are a little bit more, or they book with people who are, what's the better way to put it, with travel agents and things like that, who can say, well, you could go to Disney for one day, or you could go to the places that Disney is trying to replicate for the same price but for several days. And also maybe has less planning involved in it. I think this is something where Disney is getting into an issue where you have to be locking in people who have power over the people with the power of the purse strings, the people who are actually making the spending decisions, but they aren't really doing that. The younger generations, I'm not sure they're interested in Disney content the way that they used to. Star Wars is not really doing well with the younger generation. Disney content on Disney Junior, pretty bland, and is competing with YouTube. Marvel is skewing older, as Agatha right now is the only thing that Marvel has at the moment, other than Deadpool and Wolverine. So you have a hard R superhero sex comedy and a show about I don't know how you would want to put it. She's not a divorcee, but she's an middle-aged wine mom with her witchy coven. This isn't exactly an indication that Disney is strong with the younger audience that doesn't care how much this stuff costs. So you have to have people with a less critical palate but a lot of money that want to go to Disney.
Yeah, and I think that demo is getting smaller and smaller as we go along here, because I think people are realizing their options. I think Braden had reported that even though Walt Disney World attendance might have been down, attendance at other places around the country, tourist destinations and so forth, were actually increasing visitation, because I think partially because people are exploring other modalities of having fun. And like you said, if Disney is going to price itself as a premium option, then they really do have to have a premium product. And unfortunately, I just don't think that's really been reflected in the offerings at Walt Disney World specifically. It's not like when they increase prices for food, for example, and we have another article out of here about Walt Disney World Magic. Walt Disney World increases buffet character dining prices amid resort-wide hikes in October 2024. Usually it's like, okay, well, you increase prices, but you keep the portion sizes the same, right? Maybe even increase them. Nope. They've been reducing portion sizes along with increasing prices. That's just how that has gone right there. They have nickel and dimed and many things that used to be either included or as free. They have even in terms of the new offerings like Tron, for example, or Challenge by Adventure, like we just covered before. Those are subpar experiences for either what they replaced in the form of Splash Mountain, or for Tron, just weren't worth the wait, 6 years or something like that, in order to get that attraction up and ready. There, they had virtual queues and a single pass lightning lane for that. But again, it's a 60-second experience. Why on earth would I pay $20 a person or even more to go on that specific attraction when the experience itself is so subpar? I think these are the issues that the Walt Disney Company really has to face head on, that they just haven't yet.
Yeah, and I'm of course, when I think about Tron, I think about Velocicoaster or Hagrid's. If we're going for
Exactly.
a roller coaster experience with theming, obviously the theming on Velocicoaster is lesser than the theming on Hagrid's, but Velocicoaster is flipping amazing. Um,
So good.
$20 to skip the line on Hagrid's. That's where it's a little bit more justified. It is an amazing ride with twists and turns, and even though that thing makes me nauseous, it's still like an amazing ride, as opposed to less than 60 seconds on the Tron coaster. The Tron coaster is best experienced on the ground watching it, which is a fascinating thing to say about a roller coaster. But that being said, we want to throw this to our commenters. I want to know, is there anyone out there with an annual pass? We are hearing rumors of annual pass holder groups on Facebook that are seeing frequent posts to say, sorry, this is the year we cancel, even though we've had passes since like 1974 or something like that. So I would love to know if this is your breaking point, or if you think these are all in line. I really do want to know. Also, if you wouldn't mind, hit the like button. It does help out the channel. And consider subscribing to That Park Plays for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.